The belief in sacrifice is in every facet of the culture of society. It is the very makeup, the very body, the very lifeblood of society. If you want an easier life, if you want to achieve wealth, if you want to be successful, well, then you have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice money that you don't have. You have to go into debt. We're taught this at a very early age. College is for the successful. College is something that you're going to have to sacrifice for. You're going to have to sacrifice your time, your energy, and you're going to have to sacrifice money and years in your life in order to achieve this. If you want anything in this society, you're taught that sacrifice is what's needed. And it's because it's so emboldened in people's minds and so normalized and so epitomized that sacrifice is everything, and you can achieve literally nothing without it. I once saw a man so proud, so enriched in his own grandeur. By the cut of his suit, you would assume that this guy was born wealthy. Hair slicked back, the mannerisms, hand signs all signify someone who has achieved unimaginable wealth and was born to it. However, the sacrificing that was made to put this person, this man, where he is something that changes you forever. The reality of the situation is that the reason for the mindset in sacrifice is because of not just culture, but a cult. You see, human trafficking is actually not just a gang or a rabble of people or some small mischievous group of evildoers. It's actually a cult, and it always has been. It's a cult that has existed since the beginning of time. The reality that taking someone, a man, woman, or child, as a slave and owning slaves is not just crimes against humanity. It's not just a crime. That is also a cult. And it is a cult that has infected every corner, every round-shaped ohm, every block, every rock on this earth. Every civilization has been infected with this cult. They are everywhere. Most people, when they look in the mirror, they see a member of this cult, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly. There's an organization. It's known worldwide. Whether you agree with them or disagree, they exist. They claim to have 3.5 billion members. And they worship a man who died, supposedly, for their sins. Supposedly, he walked upon this earth for 33 years. And he gave up his life for people who didn't know him, people who didn't believe in him, people who didn't even like him, to save them from the wrong and the evil that they did, supposedly. And it's sacrifice. The ultimate sacrifice that people are supposed to believe actually happened. I believe this is why sacrifice is so common in today's society. Because if you're willing to go into a mountain of debt to achieve wealth, if you're willing to endure the hardship of eating crappy ramen food that was probably made with cardboard and bits of sand, if you're willing to work a job where no one respects you, you don't even respect yourself for doing it, just to earn a buck. If you're willing to put yourself through being tormented with medicines you don't want, injected into your skin, just so you can maintain a level of security in your everyday working life, a perceived security, well, that sacrifice that you're willing to make is nothing. So in order to make that sacrifice, if you believe that no matter what wrong you've done, that someone else can come along and pay for that, most people won't even think twice. However, the idea of sacrificing is common in other organizations, divination-based organizations. The Saturnalia, the Satan worshippers, Satanists, the occultists, they all believe in sacrifice as well. They believe in openly sacrificing children, women, men, the willing and the unwilling, all to appease the deities in which they believe, to wash away whatever evils they have done as well, and to empower them, for them to take power from those that they kill. So I would ask you, what's the difference between an occultist sacrifice of a man, of a woman, or of innocent children, and the sacrifice that those who follow Christianity believe in, where a supposedly innocent man sacrificed himself for their sins? There is no difference. Society is consumed with the idea of killing people because a cult runs the earth. They attack every aspect of your mind. They give you comic books where someone has to sacrifice their eyes in order to truly see. Someone has to go through some horrific event, like Bruce Wayne becoming Batman, in order for him to achieve that power. His parents had to be sacrificed. In order for Spider-Man to gain his power, he had to be sacrificed. He had to literally be killed by a poisonous spider and then be reborn as half man, half spider, a chimera. The reality is that sacrifice is in every aspect of your life. Most people can't see it because you're being hit over the head with it in every aspect of your day-to-day existence on this earth. If you want something, then you have to give up everything. What are you willing to give up to get what you want? Do you want to be free from sin? Do you want to be free from all the evils and wrongs that you've done? Believe in this man who died for you, who you never met, who you will never meet because you can't meet him. But just believe in him. Pray to him, and all is forgiven. The sacrifice of one's mind. How is that different from a Satanist doing the exact same thing? Except the people that they're worshiping and they're sacrificing are alive. The animals that they kill were alive just a few days ago. The entertainment industry has normalized this to the point where everyone is completely desensitized to the fact that every aspect of Western culture involves human sacrifice on some level. Do you want your children to go to school? Well, then they have to adhere to the rules of the school. And what are the rules of the schools nowadays? You have to be completely shut off mentally. You're not taught anything that will help you in your daily life. And what you're doing by spending 8 hours a day at a school is you're conditioning yourself to go to work. You're being assimilated into being a cog in a machine performing a function at a young age. This is the purpose of school. This is the sacrifice that you make, depending on how big of a cog you want to be, goes directly in proportion with how much debt you're willing to assume. They say that the valedictorians are the most intelligent people in a classroom. They are the ones who have dedicated themselves to academia. However, if you truly take a look at what all they've done, they've simply memorized predetermined responses and they regurgitate them on command. So what is the function of a cog in a machine? Human sacrifice. It's everywhere. You can see it when you look out your window. You can see it when you walk down the street. It exists now in the very room that you are in. And it will always be there in this culture. Because this culture is a cult. And they are in power. And they are everywhere. Something to think about. Peace.